Can everybody hear me okay if I just speak mic there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm Beverly Rogers. I am seeking a second term, consecutive, I guess, as mayor, and I appreciate the opportunity I've had the last 4 years to be your servant. I ran in 2015 with a platform of trying to get the lake project completed. Well, I could say we've got the lake project started, and in 2 years' time it will be completed. 2 of the 3 contracts are let already, they're underway, and the third one will be let next month and started next month. And so we're almost there. It's been a long time coming. I'm running also just to finish the project completely, so that hopefully that will happen. I believe it will. The lake provides exciting opportunities for this community. It's going to be an enhanced water supply. That's why the project was promoted. I wasn't here when it first started. And it took a long time to get the permit from the Corps. We've got that. But the water supply is our #1 goal. But from that, we also get the opportunity to have tourism. Tourism also develops sales tax for the community, and we need increased sales tax. It's an opportunity for economic development. We need this to be able to bring businesses to town. Without a water supply, you're limited as to what companies will come here. And it's a growth opportunity. Good things are going to come from the lake. We have to be responsible on how it's completed and it's financed, the financing and payoff of the whole thing. Yes, it was a big project. Yes, it was an undertaking. There was no free money. We did the best we could on financing it, and I think that I believe that we're going to be okay with it. We're just going to be smart about our expenses and our management of the city. I look forward to continuing to work with the Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Board to bring industry and growth to Holdenville. Like I say, I work with a lot of positive people, and that positiveness creates excitement, and people want to come and follow the leaders here. I want to continue to work with the Holdenville Beautification Alliance to clean up Holdenville. We always have room for improvement on that. The Alliance and also code enforcement continue to take down the dilapidated structures and to make Holdenville have a great foot forward. I was born and raised here in Holdenville. I left for a period of time, went back to school, and was also got my law degree and served as assistant city attorney and assistant city manager in other communities. Chose to return here. I love Holdenville. It's just the right size community, and the people here are good. It's a great place to raise a family. Like I say, I was born and raised here. I know the Madison family. I've always thought and believed they were a good family and are a good family. And so there's nothing against Johnny. He's a good man. We just disagree on how to run the city. That's okay, and I love the way Bill started the whole process. There's no hard feelings. We just, like I say, he disagrees with what I believe on how to do it. I disagree with some of his approaches. Nothing wrong with that. It's just how you carry it out and how you conduct yourself afterwards. I hope that we're going to still be friends afterwards.
Okay.
So I feel good about Holdenville. The challenges are there. But together, if we work together, we can meet these challenges, and there just turns out to be opportunities for improvement and for growth. So I hope you'll join me in this effort, and let's keep moving Holdenville forward. I'll stop at that point, and if you want to invite questions.
If anyone has a question they'd like to ask the mayor, feel free to do so. Just stand up so we can hear you.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes, sir.
I want to know, we've got this lake project coming in, and that's all fine and dandy. Do we stand at 38 million or 67 million by 1053?
Like 1053.
Is that when our debt is going to be paid off?
20 years.
I'm sorry, 2053, my bad.
It's a 35-year flat rate note.
Right?
Yep, that's 53.
Okay, will the taxes go up on our water?
Will the water rates increase in that time period?
Yes.
Yes, sir, they will.
How can these elder people do this?
But in 35 years, you don't expect the water rates to stay consistent.
I don't expect bigger in 35 years.
Well, you got a point there. I'm not sure about me either.
It's unfair to our elder folks.
But-
I've seen people here that's living on $700 a month, and they're gonna average them at $200 a month for a water bill. That is teetotal unfair, and you guys that are in politics need to get on the ball to work something out.
Well,
Thank you.
Okay.
Again, concerning the lake project, do you know the elevation of the lake in relation to surrounding areas? I mean, granted, you're gonna dig a big hole, you're gonna fill it up, it'll be a lake. Well, not if, but when, because I know Oklahoma weather, not from here, but trust me, I've never seen stuff like this before. If that lake overflows, which way will it go? Will it go toward the city or toward the dump? Oh, do you know?
It's going to have an equalization channel in it, so they're going to both be the same level.
Okay, so I built a $125,000 home, and now I got to worry about flood insurance, or I don't, or when it does, up the creek.
I'm not that. No, we don't. We're not building it with the intent that anything's going to flood in there. It's going to be, I believe, it's a 789-foot elevation is what the whole lake is built on or designed
Yeah, but
for.
I mean, compared to the rest of the surrounding areas, I mean, somebody's house, my house, trailer, around the surrounding, the water's gonna go to the lowest point. It's gonna go toward the city or toward, the dump. What do you know?
It's going to be within the confines of the 789-foot level right around the north side of the lake.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions right quickly? We're gonna move on to the next.
I'd like to ask that people state their names before they ask questions.
That's a good idea. I heard what Diana said, if you would state your name. Mayor, thank you very much. Oh,
I'm Roberta Davis, and I'd like to know your opinion on the lodging tax.
I'm in favor of the hotel tax, lodging tax, because it's going to be taxing people outside of Holdenville, and it's just an extra source of revenue for the community that we can use to improve the community. So I support it.
This man raised a good question. Get the brand new lake, our water rates are gonna go up. They cannot go down.
everything.
Are you saying in the near future then, our water rates are going to be raised?
Well,
And at what percent?
I'm saying that in 35 years, you can't expect everything to stay.
Well, I'm not gonna be here in 35 years.
Yeah,
No, I'm
so
35 years
there will-
next year.
There will be raises periodically through there. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is about the time that I'm in office. I know that 2 or 3 years ago, the council passed an ordinance that said the water rates will increase periodically for the next 5 years. Previous councils, like 8 years ago, said the water rates had to increase based on the Social Security COLA, cost of living adjustment.
So you're talking about inflation.
So, yes, so that was like a 25-cent raise.
See, this man took the words right out of my mouth. I retired in '01, and I'm gonna fix income. I don't have any other income. Okay, are they going to dredge out the old lake and make it deep? You know what is silted in,
Yes, there's not any plans at this time for that.
ma'am?
There are no plans on the books for that at this time. I won't rule out
That
it.
lake is very deep.
Pardon?
Ma'am, that lake is not very deep. I walked across it when the water was out of it. That
That,
lake is not that deep, ma'am. It may be full down.
That's why we had to do a lake expansion. Because we came to a point where you could almost walk across it 4 years ago.
Okay, let's do this. Here is one of those young men I was talking about that wasn't even born when I was serving, and known his family, of course, graduated with his sister. John Massett, who is also seeking the office of mayor. John, come up.
Now I've got to time myself because I know my wife, so that's why I wore my watch tonight, so she could sit there and, she told me I talk too long and too much. So, can everybody hear me all right? Can you hear me?
Flip it up, flip it up.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Okay, all right. So I'm going to time myself and make sure that I don't go over because I don't want to take away from anybody else here. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. We've got a big challenge ahead of us, and it's not going to be easy. I have studied our financial statements for the last five years, time periods, and spent many hours staying up, really probably after 1:30 at night, looking at those. Also looking at the bonding statements on the lake project itself. So, but I just want to sit there and kind of give you a little briefing on our background. I know maybe a lot of y'all don't know who we are, but I was born and raised here. My wife and I got married in '83. We raised a family here. We started some of our businesses in 1983 in the oil and gas industry, which was probably some of the toughest times to go through. The boom had just busted in 1983. We saw a lot of bank foreclosures, saw a lot of banks closing. FSLIC went out of business. FDIC was having to take over loans. And so we did start our businesses, but you know, our thought process was that you manage every dime that comes in and you're accountable for every penny that goes out. So we made it when the oil prices was $9, $10 a barrel. We were actually making money when other operators were filing bankruptcy and going under. So we know how to manage money. We know how to make things stretch and how to be accountable for it. But I just wanted I have several goals that I want to see Holdenville accomplish, and what we want to try to, those that are fortunate enough to get elected. But here's just a few of them. These are some of the goals, and I'm going to read them real quickly, and then I'll come back if, with numbers or if somebody has questions. So some of the goals we have that I have, and what I want to see is I want complete transparency in our meetings and in our financials. I want to get a handle on our financial debt so we know exactly what our expenditures are versus our assets and the monies that we have on receivables. Also want accountability. I want to meet with every department head. I want to set guidelines for accomplishments and what we can actually do in each department to streamline them. Also want to set maintenance schedules up on all equipment. And I want to make sure that all of our employees respect and serve our senior citizens, especially our seniors and our veterans. Also, we want to be accommodating to our our citizens also, and our businesses. Our employees are going to be, we'll set, like I said, certain guidelines, and we're going to meet those guidelines, and I want to make sure that there's respect not only from our employees to the citizens, but also from the citizens to the employees. And because I tell you, our employees are the backbone of our city, and we want to make sure that another thing I'd like to make sure that we do is that we have workplace safety procedures in place. We want to make sure that they're followed. I'd like to see each department start having safety meetings before they go to work and get started. And I'm just giving some briefings right now. Also want to look at again, streamlining all departments, see where we can actually cut costs, how we can save money, make each penny count, each dollar count in our budget without going over it. I know that's going to be tough because we got to get a handle on it. And especially where we want to streamline is the sanitation department. And what I'd like to do, I want us to conduct a study on revitalizing our own landfill. And I want to, President Trump has actually gone in and he's eased environmental regulations. So I want to weigh the cost of revitalizing our dump grounds that we have now, our landfill, versus what the cost is when we're taking all this to Wewoka and giving a town our revenues. So we're gonna really work hard on that. I visited with Lynn Lance on some things. He's got some good ideas. I've talked with Tony Wolf, and I've talked with Richard and Adam Romberg, and I haven't got a chance to talk with others, but everybody has a lot of good ideas, good views on how we can proceed on these things. And I want to make sure that we can actually, I'll try to meet, if we can do this and it looks feasible and it's profitable, I'll meet with DEQ and probably I'd like to meet with maybe some of our senators and congressmen, maybe, Senator Langford and Senator Inhofe, and to see exactly what the guidelines might be that have been adjusted where we can come in and make this thing work for our landfill. Also, I'm going to look into recycling. If we can start a recycling program, and this is where the citizens and our businesses are going to have to come in and help us on this. If we can recycle boxes, paper, plastic, we can sell these products back to the recycling companies. That'll help revenues. That'll keep that much products out of our landfill. So that'll be another promising area that we need to look at. But I'm telling you, it can be done. These can all be accomplished, and with the help of our citizens, our businesses, and ingenuity. And also, I want to make sure that, and this is very important, to create growth in our city. And if we can meet some of these things, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I want to make sure also that every point of entry into Holdenville is clean, where we don't have fallen down buildings, we don't have homes that have debris spread all over, because anybody that comes in our city that's going to put in a business or wants to come in and visit or maybe move here, they see these point of entries, and you see the way some of the places look, and they're not going to stay here. If I was going to live in a town or move to a town and I saw some of the things that you see coming in, I'd turn around and leave. But we've got to work on that. We've got to work on cleaning up the neighborhoods. We've got to get control of the crime. And I know our police department's working on that, but we've really got to cut down the crime. I do appreciate some of the road stops that they've had, and getting people that maybe don't have insurances or driver's license or maybe even drunk driving. And so that's also a benefit for us, and hopefully deterring a lot of crime that we just run rampant here. So those are some of the things that we want to see. Also want to see about enforcing curfews. It's important that we keep a lot of these people that are on these bicycles running around, that are on meth or out stealing. I want to make sure that we can talk to those people in a way that the police department seems necessary, that deem necessary, find out what they're doing in the area, why they're there, and let's see about enforcing curfews and get these people off the streets and not breaking into people's homes, businesses, and see if we can curb that. Another thing that, and I'm running out of time, Bill, I want to see about lowering our sales tax. There's ways we can do it, but it takes negotiations. And I like negotiating. I do it almost every day in business. And so, and I know there's business people here that have to do the same thing. So I want to see about doing that. It's vital for we've got to lower these sales taxes because it's vital in bringing new businesses in. That'll create more tax revenues if we can bring in manufacturing companies, and it can all be accomplished through negotiations and hard work. And I can tell you, it will take a lot of hard work, but I'll be the hardest working mayor that Holdenville's ever had. I'll be on the road a lot. I'll be visiting with state legislatures. I won't be sitting in Holdenville. I'm putting my business aside. I'm going to do this because I really do care about the direction Holdenville's going. Right now, we're in a very, very tough situation financially. And so it's going to take a lot of figuring out how we can sit there and cut costs without cutting what it takes to run this city. And then we also have to figure out how to generate more tax revenues so we can offset some of the costs. So these are things that we have to do in the cutting the cost. I also want to see about hiring a grant writer, and not on salary, but on commissions, because there's a lot of federal grants out there that Holdenville's missing out on that we can get. And I want to create a website. I'm almost finished, Bill. About one more minute. I want to create a website that will promote our city while we're trying to meet some of these previous goals, like cleaning up and doing some other things. We'll focus on 2 states, and that's California and New York. And I'll tell you why. Because in California and New York, wealth and businesses are leaving those states. Higher taxes, fees, utility costs is the reason. There was a survey in on One American News about 3 weeks ago that, and this is what it stated. A survey showed in California of the retired business owners and current business owners, 53% of those owners are leaving California. We need those people to come to Holdenville. We need to promote Holdenville. We need to clean it up and get wealth here. That'll create jobs, tax revenues, manufacturing companies. And also in New York. New York's under the same scenario. They have wealth leaving New York. And they're going to Florida, they're bypassing Oklahoma. Well, I want to promote those people coming here because New York City's on the verge of bankruptcy right now. They have so much debt, and the mayor they have there is creating more debt, and they are actually on the verge of bankruptcy. And if you don't think cities can't go into bankruptcy, I don't care how small you are or how big you are, it can happen from mismanagement. And also I'd like to set up, one thing I'd like for us to do, we'd like to set up a business council with business owners and business people in Holdenville. I also want to set up a citizens council, and with citizens, maybe each city council member can pick 2 people out of their wards, and let the business council come up with ideals on growth for Holdenville. Let the citizens come up with growth and what we need to do in our neighborhoods, and then the mayor and the city council can look at these ideals and work with them to better our community. And I'm going to stop there. Sorry, I was actually about 4 minutes over. I'm sorry. Any questions?
Stand up, so we'll work.
Yes, I'm a bird rose. My question is, what is your plan for the lake?
Do we really want to get on the lake? I mean, do we really want to get on there? Okay, let's get on there.
I'm gonna call my wife and tell her I'll be late.
I'm ready for it. I just want it clear, and I want it made clear, I'm not against the lake project at all. But what I am against is the debt of it.
Yes.
The debt of the lake, and I'm gonna give you the facts of the lake. I'm gonna give you some numbers that y'all can grasp. And then I'm gonna revert back to some other debt that we have that should have been paid off and taken off the books. But this is the lake project. I know it was stated in the newspaper in February that the lake project was a 30-year project at $30 million. But we never learned what the interest rate was on the debt and on the bonds. Well, these are the facts. The facts are it's a 53-year payout, almost a 54-year payout on this thing. It'll be paid off in 2053 if everything goes right. I hope way before then. But the bond issue, the principal is $33,405,000. Excuse me for looking at notes. I should know these figures, but I've been looking at so many numbers that I have to use some notes for tonight. The interest on that principal is more than the principal. The interest is $34,275,000. So the total cost of the bonds and the lake project, not the total cost, but of the bonds themselves, is $67,336,000. Now, these aren't my numbers. This is out of the 2018 city financial audits. And this comes from the bonding statements also. Now, it was also stated that in 14 years, the 1 cent sales tax that was appropriated for the lake project, that we only collected $3 million. But what we actually collected, and I got those numbers from the bonding statements, plus I went back and reviewed 2006, 2007, 2008 years, and then I calculated to do an average on those 2 years because they weren't in the bonding statements to give me the number. But the actual number that was collected in 14 years. Now remember, this lake project was voted in on an $8 million project. $8 million. And for 14 years we accumulated, there was a restricted 1 cent sales tax that was appropriate for the lake project. 14 years. That number was $6,169,000 is what we had for the lake in 14 years. So when you add the $6,169,000 to the 67, that's almost a $74 million project. And it's not only the 1 cent sales tax that goes to pay for this thing. All the revenues from the water and sewer was pledged also to pay for it. And also the 3 cent sales tax that the city operates on was pledged to pay for it. And if that wasn't bad enough, and I don't know why I still don't understand this, the Work Release Center that had a 2001 bond issue on it that was $805,000 in 2018, and it was at I think it was 6.45% interest over that time period. That we only owed about $290,000 left on that note, and it was payable in 2023. Well, that $290,000, the Work Release Center, was incorporated into the principal on the lake project bonds. So now it's financed again through this interest rate, and it may not be paid off, the next 34, 35 years. So that's another problem. So I do have problems with the lake project. I really do. I have problems with the cost of it. But I want to try to go in and see if we get in, and I want to look at all the cost. I want to look at the bids and see where we can shave things. There are some things we can and can't do because it's already in place. There's really nothing else we can do. But we're going to have to really, really work hard and see exactly where we can proceed.
Concerning the lake project, I asked a question night before last concerning the budget, and I was misled, I imagine, concerning whether it was over budget or not. Now, I guess you explained as to how they came up with figures, because the newspaper went, I don't know how they went, but you explained that it's not exactly how it seemed before. And now I understand a little bit more about it. Because I guess I didn't ask the right question while I was figuring the facts, or...
Well, I think you have
I'm getting more facts now, so...
Yeah, I think you had a good question. I know there's some questions worried about overflows, and I'm not for sure, because I haven't seen the plans of the lake. I know what we're planning for is a channel and a dam, and maybe dredging some of the old lake. So we're not getting that much more. I mean, okay, I'm sorry.
I got a question. Can I ask it? It's real fast. This is for you or Mayor Rogers. How are city ordinances and statutes changed? What is the process? Can they just change with each council and mayor, or do the citizens get a chance to vote in the way that our government is currently operating? I know if we made a major change, but those changes along the way, in a way that, not really how much your staff operates, but the way that our government operates, how is that? Do we get a chance, I guess, to say, if you decide to change how that is, do we get a chance to vote on those things? And that's for you too, Mayor Rogers.
I tell you, my deal was, since it went from an $8 million project to nearly a $74 million project, I would rather put the vote to the people and let the people decide. If that's what they want, then I would say, well, okay, if this is what you're wanting, then we're going to do our very best to do it, and maybe cut as much cost as we can, maybe even downsize the dam a little bit. We'll get as many bids as it takes to cut the cost, by at least a third, and then we'll figure out, we'll look at every appropriation we have and see how we can actually go in and pay for this thing. And I think the people should have had the vote on this. It shouldn't have been city council members or the mayor. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion on it. I want to give you one other brief deal real quick, and Bill, I will end this. Okay. I know in the meeting Tuesday night, it was handed out about the lodging tax. I want to bring this up. They were talking about that our lake project would be like Lake Eufaula. Just want to give you a briefing on it real quick. This is the deal with comparison between the city of Eufaula and the city of Holdenville. Eufaula is in McIntosh County. They have a 10-cent sales tax. Their tax revenues for 2018, now this is in Eufaula, was $2,194,000. Their tourism taxes that they appropriated for tourism was $4,264. And Holdenville's 2018 sales tax was $2,385,000. We don't have Lake Eufaula on our back door. So we're in a lot better shape than Eufaula. Also, I want to state that they talk about this, and I know I need to get off because I just have my own views about this tax, this tourism tax, or whatever they're going to call it. But I just want to let you know that Eufaula is really, we're in better shape than Eufaula. So I don't want to be compared to Lake Eufaula. It's just not, there's not a comparison there, not by no means.
I'm sorry, we're going to have to cut this off.
Can I make one?
Okay.
One question?
Sure.
This young lady, you could spend 1/5 of her Social Security check already. And just on water. I mean, you're talking about, you got a town full of people in the same shape, same boat. How can any civilized people will start raising the water bills and I'm told the fines is going up. I seen the lady street lady that let her dog run loose, and she couldn't pay the fine, so she spent 10 days in jail. Well, how is that any justice? How is that righteous?
Well-
put somebody in jail, she didn't have a home anyway.
I understand, and there's a lot of things that if I do get elected, if I'm fortunate to be elected, then I want to be with each department head. Like I said, we're gonna set guidelines and work with every department head that we have in the city. But also, I mean, those things there that, I just don't know what to tell you other than your water bill and your sewer bill is gonna go up according to the bond statements, because that's the only way we can pay for it. And, the monies that are pledged from our income, we've got to make sure, and under the bonding, and I just want to clarify this real quick so nobody's confused.